How does the song go again? The scat man?
I'm a scat man.
Well, that was.
Hey.
Yeah.
I really don't like this.
Yeah, I'm a scat man. Oh, it's the worst way to start an episode.
That was terrible.
Oh, hello everyone, and welcome to the Funky Panther comedy from Fort Worth, Texas. We've got a wonderful episode for you here on episode number 41. It's just the three of us, no guests tonight.
Just the three of us building castles.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and let's get into it. I'm Chad.
I'm Javier.
And I'm Tim.
And we are the Funky Panther. Woo!
It's a lot of songs to fit into.
Yeah, it really is. That song takes me back.
So what you're saying is this is kind of a throwback episode, huh?
I mean, this isn't a throwback episode. What's the episode about?
The future is now.
The future is now.
Yeah, but before that, we can hit on some things that are currently going on before we get into the future content.
Well, I can say this is our third episode in a week that we recorded live.
Yes.
It's been a busy week.
It really has.
Dude, we're just over here knocking them out. Knocking them out. But Chad, why are we knocking them out?
Because by the time this hits your ear holes on podcast world, I will be in Egypt.
You'll be in the future.
There's a place in France where the nations.
No, Egypt.
No, Egypt.
He said Egypt.
There's a hole in the wall where you can see it all.
Yeah, so we've had a lot of
camel show.
We've had a lot of really good guests this year already. We've had our buddy Danny. We had Ben on talking about some of his projects.
Good old Ben Walter.
Warehouse, Sakushi, that kind of thing. We had Kate on, our friend Dr. Kate, talking about her new book.
Dr. Kate.
We had Dustin Massey on, talking about his music and his
Sunshine.
Build up to his musical career.
His single coming out.
Walmart brand.
Walmart. Trevor Lawrence.
Discount Trevor Lawrence.
Discount Trevor Lawrence. Discount double check Trevor Lawrence.
Hey, so if you see him at a show or anything, just walk up and be like, "Hey, what's up, Discount Trevor Lawrence?"
I'm sure he'll love it. Really enjoyed having him on. The other one that hasn't quite hit yet, which at this point it will, was Chris Real. Real? Okay.
Like the real McCoy.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you. I think it's Real.
Yeah, I thought it was Real. But
Real.
Chris Real
with cheese.
He came on talking about some of the stuff.
I know him.
He's got going on with Roy Pope Grocery, and then also
Paris Coffee Shop.
And then his band. I mean, he's just a busy guy.
He's a busy boy.
He's a busy beaver.
So I feel like it's been a while since it's just been the three of us. It's kind of
it feels pretty good. I can spread my legs a little.
Yeah,
you've got your whole table side of your table to you.
I got my side of my table back. We're not getting back into that. No.
Okay.
Javier and I both have not lost any of our tables. So
yeah, I know
it's been quite nice. Regardless,
I'm man-spreading right now.
It's okay.
When are you not?
True. So let's talk about local news here. The most important one of all being the passing of Russ Martin, local radio legend, DFW area. Passed away.
Yeah, he was. I think his show was syndicated at one point.
No. It wasn't. He was never syndicated.
He was with CBS though. At one point.
Yeah, CBS radio. But like whenever they talked about syndication, he didn't like the way that they try to make you.
That's right.
Should move back. Yeah.
Like the way he had to reform to their
rules,
bend to the knee, bend the knee. But he was his own person. He was a shock jock here in DFW, akin to Howard Stern. And I remember listening to him when I was in 6th grade. From then on, and I hadn't listened to Tim in maybe like 8 years, but I mean,
yeah, I remember listening to him probably around the same age as you did.
Yeah,
and then listening some while he was at 105.3 The Fan, and then maybe the last I'd say like 4 years or so, really like listening every day mostly.
Yeah.
He had some health problems and disappeared for like the last year and a half. He came back for a little bit and he just wasn't the same. I mean, the studio even tried to, under his contract, they built him a studio at home so he could remotely do it from home, and that's how you know, like you've made it your big time kind of deal. Whenever you make the studio make them bring the studio to you. So
they set the whole thing up for him.
Yeah,
I mean, and they kind of knew. I mean, it's sad, but they weren't surprised.
Yeah, 60. He was 60
years old.
Yeah,
60 years old. But yeah, it really sucks. No, I'm not laughing because of that. It sucks, man.
It's a weird thing to laugh at.
It's sorry.
Well, I mean, there's all different types, stages of grief, and I think laughter is one of them.
I never listened to the guy.
Yeah, well, you missed out, and you can catch some of his older shows and stuff. And he had some really great bits,
like "Who's a Big Dumbass?"
Yeah, my favorite was
really.
It was a show. I mean, it was a bit. His
Little Russ. He would have this Little Russ character, and he had a high pitched voice, and he would ask very uncomfortable questions to his Uncle Dan, and Dan O'Malley would have to try to answer them in the best politically correct way. And it was like as if a kid was asking these questions, but it was like, where does babies come from?
Right.
And, just random ass stuff like that. No, we're not jumping back into that.
If you keep doing that, we're probably going to have to pay somebody. I would stop.
But yeah, it's
It's sad.
Yeah, so if you feel like donating to the Russ Martin Listeners Foundation, do so. It's a great cause. He's given a lot of money to DFW firefighters who families and police have lost their lives.
Yeah, lost their lives in the line of duty.
Yeah. So, one of our friends had one of their family members lose their life several years ago in Dallas. And, he cut a check for
Patrick
him. So,
Summerreaper.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, does a lot of good things.
Yeah. Great for the city. Rest in peace.
So, anyways, moving on. Did y'all hear the news about Governor Abbott?
Yeehaw! The governor said, "I will not stand for these masks."
Mask off, everyone.
Yeah,
mask off.
Mask off.
He said, "I will not stand for this." He won't stand for anything.
That's the running joke. Not his running joke.
That's horrible.
That's awful. You're a bad person.
You're a bad person. You said it's a running joke. That's a horrible joke.
I mean, what do y'all think about that?
Man, I'm still not gonna. I'm gonna wear a mask. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, we're still having to wear one too. But, that. Hang on here. I feel like if we're gonna talk about this,
yeah. Now that's Texas.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Now That's Texas here on the Funky Panther podcast. So nothing screams Now That's Texas as the Texas governor lifting a mask mandate in the time of a global pandemic.
Now that's Texas. You know what? You can't tell me to wear a mask because I live in the state of Texas.
Oh, yeah. Now that's Texas.
State of Texas? You mean the sovereign nation of Tejas.
And speaking of the sovereign nation of Tejas, happy Texas Independence Day.
Hey, whoa, look at that. Slow clap that.
Texas Independence. Okay.
Very nice.
Okay. We'll get in there. We'll get in there.
Congrats. Way to go.
You know? So what does it mean to be a Texas to you? Being a Texan, excuse me.
Being a Texas means I'm the biggest state in other than Alaska.
You're the baddest bitch in the continental United States.
Okay, can you?
Do I need to tone this down?
The baddest bitch in the continental United States?
That's what I said.
Okay. All right. Cool. Never heard that before, but
my name's Texas, and I'm a bad bitch that don't take shit from nobody. You mess with Texas, you get the horns.
Oh, good Lord. So, Governor...
eyes of Texas are upon you!
Okay. I think that's enough.
That's
Texas.
That's enough Texas.
That's UT's.
When it's enough Texas, now that's Texas.
Now that's Texas.
I did bring some Texas beers.
Did you?
Let's do it.
So while he's bringing that out, so Governor Abbott, mask mandate lifted for the state of Texas, not federally, starting
Sweet Fang
March.
Oh,
the
my.
Imperial one.
March 10th.
Jesus.
Oh, good Lord.
It looks like he just ate a bowl of ass.
Say ass.
It's ass. I mean, it's a chocolatey peanut butter milk stout. You think that maybe could be chocolate?
Well, yes.
Or you think it's ass?
Tomato.
I will say, though, we're down like almost half of the cases in Tarrant County. So, I mean, I guess we're moving in the right direction.
Well,
that's speaking for the whole state. Maybe
everyone's going to be different. Like a lot of the local businesses here are saying they're still going to implement their mask mandate.
Right. I don't think that they can.
No, they can't. No,
they can. They can reserve
like a
the right
business.
to
because the federal. Okay, so federal trumps state and
federal Trump state.
Yeah.
Well, there's no Trump anymore.
Oh yeah,
But the federal guidelines is still wear a mask.
Right.
So even though the state says you don't have to. It's kind of like the marijuana laws in various state to state. The feds can come in and enforce that if they want to. They're not going to. But as a business, you could still say like, yeah, you're not coming in here unless you get a mask on.
Like the Granbury Theater over there by the shop said that you're going to have to mask up. Who else did I see?
Man, I just imagine a lot of Karens, though, that's happening. Karens and Chads.
Yeah. I do think that it's good that our numbers have gone down. I think with people like the spike around, Christmas, obviously there's a lot of people that are still within that like 90 day to 5 month time frame. We still don't know how long it is before you can get COVID again, really. Yeah. But like there's a lot of people in that time frame because there were so many cases. And now we also have millions of people vaccinated, right? Millions.
Which
right?
I just got a call because y'all have gotten yours.
I've gotten mine. Chad has not gotten
You
his.
haven't gotten yours.
No.
Like I got a call and an email today if I still wanted to be on the list to get a vaccine.
Like, yeah, you're an essential employee. But you need to be vaccinated.
And I had signed up at the beginning of the year, and this is the first time getting like
Jessie was talking about wanting to do it. She just didn't want to take it away from an old person or something like that.
Yeah,
but I think Johnson & Johnson or one
one of those.
They just came out and they got approved. FDA approved their version of the vaccine. Yeah,
like they have 4 million doses already shipped out and ready.
It's a single dose. Yeah. Right. And it doesn't have to be to the same like sub-zero temperatures
as the other ones. Yeah. It's probably the better one.
Yeah. I think this one it takes care of the contagion transmitting.
Okay. Just stop. So this one, I know that there's some talk because it doesn't have the same percentage of like, what is it, Tim? Reliability or like, what is it? Percentage of?
I don't know what you're going with, but like, are you talking about like how well it protects you?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like one of them was like 94 and the other one's like 95% or something.
And this one's like 70s or something, which is still higher than the flu shot.
Yeah.
But the thing is like it's later in the game than the other two. And so they're saying that it was tested in places like Africa and South America where there was already
the different strain
or variant or whatever. And so it's a different, it's like comparing oranges to apples, right? Like it's just a little bit different.
On the live text, North Texas Beer says perhaps Abbott will lift the mandatory seatbelt laws too.
Oh, was that not a joke? I thought
no, it's on there. Like, I mean, we don't talk a lot about politics on the podcast, but we
I'm gonna go ahead and pop this. Though,
we have a mix of fans that are for and against like this mask mandate and everything that's going on. I, for one, I'm still going to wear one when I go out. I'm still going to. I mean, I'm not a sheep or anything. I'm still going to follow the guidelines because I want to keep my family safe. I mean, my parents are old. I'm not going to like kind of be off about it or cross.
Yeah, you would hate to be the one like, yeah, I ended up getting COVID and I gave it to my daddy and my daddy died.
Yeah.
And then you just feel really shitty about it.
So, I mean, we still have people that have been losing loved ones.
Yeah, I imagine like if George W. Bush was my granddaddy, and I went and saw him and got him sick, I'd be so sad.
Do you say granddaddy or are you saying granddaddy now because of the whole like Texas thing? Because I feel like I've never heard you say granddaddy before.
Well, okay, so here's my deal.
Granddaddy.
Here's my deal.
I've heard you say pop. Heard you say peppy.
If I was going to, because I don't have a grandfather. I've never met either one of my grandfathers. So I wanted George W. to adopt me as his grandson.
Okay.
So he's a longtime listener.
George W. But you heard it here first.
And he's going to hear this for the first time that I would like for him to be my granddaddy or grandpappy, whichever one he prefers.
I don't know how I feel about it. I agree. I'm going to continue to wear mine because I think that it's a minor inconvenience for me to have to wear it in public. So I'm not worried about it. Hopefully people will not be so upset about the fact that, they have to wear it because now they don't. But I think that it's going to continue to cause rifts.
I can see it now.
Yeah.
Just people screaming, "How dare you not let me in your business?" It's my right to not wear a mask.
That's actually his Karen voice. I've heard it before.
That's my Karen voice.
Sure. Like, I mean, I think these people are already going to be ready with their phones and like, they're not letting me in.
See,
states' rights and whatnot. And I completely
And then there's
agree.
going to be a bunch of people getting their ass beat and show up on World Star Hip Hop.
I mean,
I hope not. I hope everything goes smoothly. The cases decline, and the people that want to wear them, and the people that don't.
Oh yeah,
don't.
I mean,
we're coming on a year.
Yeah.
With this, we talked earlier.
Well, we're over a year from like the first case.
No, but I mean, like whenever everything started shutting down, we're the 14th, March 14th.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's been a year. I mean, honestly, I thought this would be like a month. A month turned into 3 turned into 6, and here we are.
I haven't been in the office in a year.
Yeah, you're not going back to the office anytime soon, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, I mean, I really think like, and we've talked about this before, but businesses have changed their whole game plan, and they realize, I think they realize that we don't need as much as we have.
True.
And so you get productivity from people who are at home, let them stay at home, I guess, and we can call this just like kind of like a big social experiment in that regards.
Well, because it's a consumer waste also because Chad's worked from home. Anthony's worked from home.
Yeah, and I'm trying to work from home.
Teachers are. Oh, let me save you on a camera. They have a little robot now. I could just insert like whatever.
It just rolls up to the house and says, "Follow me to the Tesla." And it'll just drive you autopilot to the hospital.
So Jesse says he's literally never said granddaddy.
I didn't think so.
North Texas Beer says Pawpaw's granddad, grandpa, or granddaddy. It's good names for
granddaddy's a good name for George W.
And,
Pep. No.
Pep.
And the national emergency was declared March 9th.
March 9th, yeah.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, what do you think about? I mean, I know that they shut down Varsity, which I liked the Fort Worth Weekly article. I'm sure a lot of people didn't, but like I'm not a huge fan of Varsity anyway, just because of I don't know the borderline racism when they like not.
Bro,
I don't think it's quite.
Sir,
borderline.
Your shoes are too ethnic.
Yeah, I don't.
Wait,
I don't
how
care
are my
for that
shoes
place.
too ethnic?
You're, by shoes, I mean you're too ethnic.
Your color of skin does not match our graph.
But he's wearing Nikes too. No, he's fine. He's white.
Yeah, I mean between
he's Tim's white, by the way. I'm just letting it known for people.
Yeah, I'm just being the doorman at Varsity right now because that's literally what happened.
Yeah,
they whenever you go in, I mean I haven't been to Varsity, but I've seen pictures because we've got friends that and not knocking them at all, but still going to Varsity and they're taking pictures and video and they're like,
dude, nuts to butts.
Yeah, it's just like insanely packed. Some people wearing masks, some people aren't. I mean, they're doing bottle service. People are drinking out of the bottles and sharing and like, okay, whatever. I guess that's your business. But like, it was an emergency, right? And there are people that are having issues and dying, and there are businesses that just do not give a shit. So, and it seemed like it was way too long that was happening before they finally shut them down.
And that's what the Fort Worth Weekly. If you haven't read the article, and I'm gonna post it up on the notes, but it's actually pretty entertaining to read because they just rip Varsity to shreds.
Yeah,
and it was way too long. Like everybody knew this was going on. I remember working before. They really shut down a lot in West 7th. I was still working on our bike team out there. And dude, I mean, it was just like wall to wall people. You'd have TABC out there, the fire marshal and all that stuff. And they were going in there and like writing them tickets for being at capacity or over capacity, right? But they didn't care. They were making money hand over fist so they could just pay those fines. No big deal, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's a long time coming. It's about time. They had to like put their foot down somehow.
And I get it. I mean, as a business owner, I'd want to make money and I want my business to survive or whatever.
But at the expense of people's lives.
Yeah, they don't give a shit about people.
They don't.
But you know what I find interesting? I was looking at so like American Airlines started allowing people there to watch NHL games and stuff like that. And cool, there's social distancing in the building. The building's huge, right? So I looked a couple of weeks ago. I was going to look at tickets and go see the Stars play, right?
Yeah.
And their tickets for nosebleed were fucking outrageous. Like I think it was like $70 a seat for nosebleed. And the only thing I can think of is they're trying to recoup that money for having that operation.
At least you have a lot of space. You're not like super packed up with people.
But I also don't want to spend $70 a ticket to sit up in like the highest seats possible.
I'm down to go.
I mean, when's the last time you saw a live sports event?
No shit. I would love to go.
Yeah, but
I would justify paying that if it's going to be if I'm separated from people, then and if I could see the game, then I would totally do it. The way the Cowboys did it this year was pretty irresponsible because there's still people that were kind of close. But I mean, I miss sports. I miss concerts. I miss music festivals. I miss
Fort Worth Lacrosse. Yeah. We want to be the official podcast of Fort Worth Lacrosse.
Yeah.
You know, I signed up for some like freebie. I think it was like this to get a scarf, and they call me like every week now asking if I'm going to buy.
I love freebies.
Buy the season tickets.
Buy season tickets, and I really want to go to some games. I'm not going to ever be able to go to every single game. So like season tickets doesn't make sense.
It's one of those things like you don't want to spend because I think it's like $500.
Yeah, I mean it's not even that bad.
Yeah, it's not
a pretty
bad.
good deal. But like, I'm not going to go to every game. But they keep calling me, and you know,
you got them on like the do not like the robocaller thing. Like if this number calls, then you know you're going to go get some weird voicemail message.
So another Texas thing, and at this point, when this podcast comes out, it would have been like 2 or 3 weeks ago because I already think it was like 2 weeks ago.
Right,
but
2 weeks ago,
Nathaniel Rateliff was on SNL.
Right.
And
he's not Texas though.
He's not Texas, but Jeff Daisy, his saxophone player, is from Fort Worth.
Tell us a little bit about Jeff Daisy.
I mean, I don't know him personally, but I know that he, you know, we used to see him all the time when he played for Josh Weathers.
Right. Yeah.
And then I've seen him a few times when he was playing for Leon.
Right.
And now he's playing with Nathaniel Rateliff, and just super talented musician. He also has got a what is it? Fort Flannel, I think is one of the charities that he works he works with or whatever, or that's his charity. I'm not completely sure, but he does a lot for our city, and it was cool to see him on SNL. I think that was the second, maybe third time. I think that he's been on there multiple times in the past, but always cool to see a local out there on, you know, something that we watch regularly, right?
Especially spreading awareness for Tatiana from Fort Worth.
Yeah.
You know,
he wrote a song for right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he does it's hosted by saxophone player Jeff Daisy.
So, what, the Fort Flannel?
Yeah. So I don't think it's like necessarily his charity, but it's something that he's
definitely a big part of it. Yeah.
Right.
So this episode is about technology and the future is what our main story for tonight.
It is.
But technology and the new millennium.
But did you know that Chad went someplace new?
Did it? I thought we already talked about that.
No, we didn't.
No.
This would be the last Texas thing, the last Fort Worth thing before we get into the futures.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, I guess you do this though.
I do.
But no, we don't need to meet.
Wait. Thank you for joining for Now That's Texas, when Javier tends to jump subjects.
Yeah.
Prior to being finished with said subject that we were on.
This sweet fang from Panther Island is very delicious.
Now that's Texas.
Have you ever had a sip of this sweet fang? Sweet fang is normally a seasonal beer. Is that correct, Chad?
I don't think so anymore.
No, not anymore. They used to come out with it once a year. Valentine's Day. You're right. Valentine's Day.
Well, this is the Imperial. So this one's 11%. I think the normal one's like 7 or 8.
Yeah, this one fucks.
It slaps.
It's pretty good.
It's a knee slapper. I tell ya.
You could definitely taste the strength.
As what's his Mark Riboulet, as he likes to say, "Let me in, I'm trying to fuck." That's what this thing says. As I popped that open, it was just screaming at me.
You can taste.
I think we're upsetting Chad.
I don't even know what y'all are talking about at this point. You've been so back and forth and off the wall. Maybe we need more guests because y'all are more focused.
Let me in, I'm trying to fuck. How that song goes?
Yeah, it's so good.
Awful.
But yeah, so you
Mark Revelier, future guest.
Yeah, we're gonna get him on.
That'd be cool.
So you Provender Hall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tab and I went to Provender Hall this past weekend. And that was my first time, or either one of our first time going. It's in the Stockyards, but it's by Marcus Paisley, I think is his name. Marcus Paisley.
Paisley.
And I swear that guy is my. I think that he's my favorite Fort Worth chef.
Yeah,
because he's also, you know, the owner and creator of Clay Pigeon,
right?
Which is one of my favorite spots. Like, go there and get the bone marrow.
Yeah,
oh my gosh, and their cocktails are amazing too. But all the food there is really good. And then also Piatello over on Clear Fork,
which I've never been there.
Tab and I've been there a couple times. It's similar type of like local ingredients and some game and stuff like that, but Italian. It's like pastas and things like that. And if you are able to have their ossobuco, like whenever they don't have it all the time, but damn, it's good.
So comparing them to like other Fort Worth chef Tim loves gemelli.
Yeah.
Blows it out of the water.
I think so. I mean, I like gemelli just fine, but I think the Piatello is much better. And I like their cocktails. The ambiance there is really cool. They've got like an open kitchen so you can see what they're doing and they're prepping and stuff while you're chilling. But then Provender Hall is like a Southern cuisine.
Okay.
And we went to this place called Husk when we were in North Carolina. Very well-known restaurant. It's been all over like Netflix food shows and stuff like that.
Right.
But it was kind of like borderline that food because it's like that Southern cuisine, like shrimp and grits, cornbread.
Like you're talking like more like, but this place is probably like the elevated soul food.
Yeah.
That comfort food that us Southern folk like.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Shout out to Jared and Holly who mentioned that it was awesome, but they said that we had to get the pork rinds. And holy crap, I have never had better pork rinds.
I'm sure they were fresh pork rinds.
Oh, yeah. It was insane. And they came with like this, I guess it's like a white barbecue dipping sauce or something. And then you just throw some Tabasco on it. Holy shit.
So that's probably like the Atlanta, I think it's like the Atlanta white sauce or whatever.
Yeah. I think
I think it's like a mayonnaise based barbecue sauce. It's weird.
Yeah. I don't think I would like it like normally on things, but with these spicy pork rinds, holy shit. It was.
Remember those, that white barbecue sauce from Master of None that Aziz wanted to get?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. But yeah, I just wanted to shout those three restaurants off, shout them out because he is an awesome chef. Love those three restaurants. If you haven't checked them out, please check them out. They're they're not cheap. You're probably going to spend, with appetizers, cocktails and everything, probably like $100 for a couple of people. So not too bad, but definitely worth it.
Set some money aside and Alabama white barbecue sauce. That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
I imagine. So, but yeah, just kind of set some money aside and go on a date. Take your pretty lady or man.
Yeah.
Lady, man, both.
Yeah, it was a really cool spot.
Enjoy yourself.
I mean, in the stockyards, you don't really kind of expect to go in this place and just being absolutely like beautiful. It's open and 2 floors. Really
whenever I go to stockyards, I just think of like PRs and I think of White Elephant.
Yeah.
And then the only elevated restaurant over there would be like Lonesome Dove, which I still have never ate there. And
it's great.
I've heard that if you're going to eat Tim Love's restaurants, that's probably the best one to go to. It's
also
Dove.
the most expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
So that finishes my stuff up, Javier.
Cool.
Did you?
So moving on to other business.
I forgot what I was going to say.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Well, the future is now.
The future is here, and the future is now, ladies and gentlemen. What kind of technological advances have we advanced to?
Well, we don't have flying cars yet.
How about a hoverboard? Is there a hoverboard for me?
No.
Well,
okay. So the King of Random. No, not the King of Random. There's I'll have to look it up. There's a YouTube group that made a hoverboard out of electromagnets, but it has to be over like metal. Like
maglev, you say?
It has to be over
magnetic levitation.
Yes.
It's got to be over a metal floor, so it's not really that effective, and it kind of floats wherever it wants to go.
Yeah, and you also have the ones like over water, like the ones that hook up to the jet ski and like.
I mean, it's kind of
shooting water, and you're kind of hovering.
Yeah, we don't have flying cars like we would have had according to the Back to the Future, which is sad.
Now, what if I want to travel somewhere far away without leaving the comfort of my own living room?
You got virtual reality.
Tell me more.
Well, you have it, so why don't you tell us about it? No, okay, but yes, I will tell you more. VR technology has, gone full like nutso, right?
Yeah.
I remember my first VR experience was at Dave & Buster's back in. I mean, it had to have been the mid 90s or late 90s, somewhere around there. It was Chase's birthday. Maria took us all out to Dave & Buster's, and I remember playing in this virtual reality. And I can't honestly remember like if I knew what I was doing, but it had one of those little treadmill things that you could actually run and walk around in.
No.
But I don't remember. I think it was more like what we would expect from maybe like GoldenEye or something along those lines, that kind of graphics. So it wasn't nearly as cool as what we got now, but we were over here playing with your new virtual reality.
So I have this device called the Oculus Rift.
Right.
It's a headset with these handle controls that you can, interact with like your surroundings. You can probably can't see me on camera, but my hands are going up and down, and I'm rocking back and forth. But essentially, you're immersed in this virtual land. So there's this game that I showed Chad called some gun game, Hot Shot or something like that.
We'll just call it some gun game.
Some gun game.
We don't want to get sued.
But you essentially you're in this game and you control this person, but it's like a game within a game, because during the game you have to be in someone's room, get a disc, put it in a computer, and then put a headset on top of the headset you already have on.
So it's like Inception.
It's Inception with games.
With games, okay.
And so like you could throw like hammers and bottles around and shoot people and punch them. So that's you're fully immersed. I'll post.
But it's like a simulator. Like
it's a simulator.
It's as if you were like trying to get better at like shooting or getting out of weird situations and punching. And so no one looks like actual people. It definitely looks like you're in a simulator.
Yeah.
But the amount of movement and the kind of things that you're doing and picking up stuff and like throwing, and they drop it and you catch it. Like there's all sorts of stuff.
It kind of reminds me of, you remember when Dance Dance Revolution like really got
I love DDR,
big, right?
Yeah.
And you could, and it came to console where you could actually have the mat and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So immersive with that, right?
I remember Plenty of Fun night with that.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like I was sweating so much playing your VR.
Oh, Chad
I remember
was
sweating.
drenched.
I was as well. I was getting real into it.
I got really mad because Chad, seriously, you put it on and it's like water's coming down your face.
You're welcome.
It's
gross.
fucking gross.
I was wearing a jacket though. It was cold outside.
No. But it's a lot
I didn't
of fun.
think we were going to be playing for hours either.
Like Chad, he got into it. It's really addictive to do, especially like when you're involved in a new situation.
You know what they say?
It's a new experience. It's a new experience.
Yeah, because it's a new experience. You never know what you're going to do.
You never know what to expect.
It's a new experience.
It's brand new.
Yeah. There's another app I showed Chad. It's Google Maps, Google Earth, actually, to where you can actually zoom into the city and look over the buildings, like just, oh, hey, what are they doing there? There's a pool. And
I was flying over Greece. Like you once you kind of figure it out, you feel like you're some type of god, because you're like flying around.
Yeah.
You're going, like actually flying down over these waterfalls and these buildings, and it looks like you're there. Like you can see people. You can go in like Colosseums. Like it was bananas.
It's very cool technology, and I think that's a great thing, especially during this whole pandemic stuff.
yeah, absolutely.
That for people who are stir crazy, if you had the money or you already had it, it gave you that ability to leave and kind of escape reality for a little bit.
I mean, there's even an option to go into a theater and watch like TV or movies.
Yeah. There's an app called I think it's pronounced Sin VR.
No, well, you're gonna have to spell it because people are gonna think it's porn.
CINE.
Like you mean SINVR?
No, CINEVR, like cinema.
Cine VR.
Yeah. But you could do movies with friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we all had VR, we could sit down and like, they had movies that were set up already that everybody can view. But it's weird because it's like people are sitting in these chairs and you see other avatars or whatever, but then you see people like raising their arms up and doing this.
Yeah.
And that's how you know that's like someone real.
That's weird.
You can even I know like for big screen on the Oculus, you can select like tomatoes and throw it at the screen. You can get like a drink and have somebody drink it, and whenever you put it to their face, like it'll have a slurping noise. You can throw popcorn at people. You can even do like VR drawing on there and then put like hi there, or like, draw a penis or something like that.
It's awesome. I mean, it's a way to really immerse yourself. And did y'all ever have what was that Nintendo game?
Virtual Boy.
Virtual Boy. Did you ever have that?
I did. We had it for a month, and then my mom's like, "No, it's gonna screw up your eyes. You can't use it. Go tell your dad to return it."
She's probably not wrong.
No, she's probably right.
My cousin had it, and I remember we had Virtual Boy tennis.
And he's
on
blind.
There. Yeah, and dude, yeah.
my
cousin's blind as a bat now. In fact, he's got a lawsuit against Nintendo. I'm just kidding.
30 years later.
30 years later. Are you sure that's not due to anything else? No, it's a Virtual Boy. Yeah, it was. But
your palms sure are hairy.
It was such a weird.
It's a masturbation joke.
It was such a weird thing that was just that black and red.
Yeah,
or kind of grayish red or whatever.
And it was black and red.
Black and red.
You play like Star Fox or Punch Out, and
it was hard. But I also had there was another one that was kind of a competitor to it, maybe a little bit cheaper, that you wore just like over one eye, and it flipped down. And I can't remember what it was called. I'll have to see if I can find it. But it played the music. It had a little disc, and you had a controller, but you could like it projected it on this little screen over your eye.
I don't know, like kind of like a Google Glass.
Yeah, kind of like that. So, we had technology like that back, and this is probably 92, 94, somewhere around there.
So like speaking of Google Glass, like I know here in the future there's tech that's coming out where it's what's it called? Like simulated VR in the real world.
Yeah, augmented reality.
Augmented reality.
Yeah.
AR.
They've already got augmented reality stuff like you can pull up your Amazon app and see what items look like in your room or house or whatever, which is pretty cool.
But like the whole Tony Stark like glasses.
Oh yeah,
that exists. Like I did. There was a store I went into where there was some kind of rep there, and he like put them on my face. And similar to like your situation with the controllers and stuff, except you can still see the entire room. But you look at a flat surface and all of a sudden there's a chessboard, right? And you get to play like chess. It's bizarre. Like it's really like combining the two is pretty nuts.
Just from the live chat, Virtual Boy sounds like an OnlyFans experience. I never thought it looked like that.
Probably not wrong.
Wait to bring me my Virtual Boy. Barkeep.
What was that song? Coin Operated Boy.
Did
you hear that song?
Lost me,
my
man.
Guy. Yeah, I'll play it later.
But I think there's plenty of like Ready Player One. Where you're in a little simulation thing, or even like the book Ready Player 2, it's kind of like the Black Mirror concept where you put the device on your temple and you're in there.
Well, they're saying that Elon Musk they've tested this implant device that feeds you information, and I think they've tested in like mice maybe or rats. But there was a video showing Elon kind of acting kind of funny, and people are theorizing that he actually has already had that.
I bet he does.
Had it implanted, because they're saying they've only tested it on rats. No humans have been tested yet or anything like that. But he's sitting there and they ask a question, and it's almost like he kind of like looks off to his side just a little bit, and it's like he's searching mentally. And if that thing's real and if that thing actually works,
if anyone has it, it would be him.
Oh yeah,
and like he would definitely. I mean, he doesn't care. He's like, do it, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Test it on me.
Yeah,
I'll be your guinea pig.
But good Lord, can you imagine? And people are worried about implanted chips and stuff with vaccines and whatnot.
They're starting to have the contacts that are kind of like the glasses thing that you're talking about. It's like augmented reality, but. I wonder when something like that's going to come out where you can upload your mind to like the cloud.
Oh yeah, there's
like your consciousness.
There's a show on, I think it was Hulu. I mean, it was on actual network.
Oh, Prime. No, it was Prime.
Prime.
The guy dies and he uploads his self to
it's called Upload.
The cloud.
Yeah.
Upload. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So that's a pretty, I mean, like, I don't think that we're that far from that kind of thing, right?
So,
being able to say, hey, I'm gonna live in this other world after I die.
So would you do it though? Like, would you, if you had the ability to live forever like that?
No, man, I want to be cremated and launched into space. Like legitimately, like I really want that. That's not going to happen to me because, Jesse will just have me cremated and put somewhere, but I want to be launched into space. Probably in the backyard.
Just get rid of it.
That's probably what's going to happen.
When I die, cremate me, put me in like a kilo of Coke and cut me through Coke and snort me up, baby.
No
one's going to do that.
Nobody's going to do that.
How about make some rock and smoke it?
Nobody's going to do that.
No, why not?
No.
How about some heroin?
Either way, no. I don't want to mix you into my body, and I don't want you to mix you with drugs.
Yeah, you should. I mean, I would snort it all.
Elon Musk thing it's Neuralink. It's a brain implant. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a legit thing that they've implanted into a pig is what it is.
Elon,
still, yeah.
I'm looking at the chat, and I remember seeing it breaking today. Elon wanted to create a city for here in Texas where he's doing all his launches. Mm-hmm. What's it here? It's what do you think? Starbase Texas. He's wanted to call it Starbase Texas.
Yeah, he's doing the launches down almost like by Corpus Christi.
Yeah,
and in fact, I think they just had a launch, or they're having. Yeah, they had one just maybe a couple weeks ago. I think. Yeah,
that guy's a genius.
They have launches all the time.
Yeah,
that guy's a mad genius.
There was a comedy skit, and I can't. No,
he's not a mad genius. He just had money.
Yeah,
but he's kind of a mad genius. He is one of the few that has that kind of money that does whatever the hell he wants.
I think it was he sold PayPal for like over $100 million. He used all that money on Tesla and SpaceX.
Yeah, and the thing with Tesla though is whenever he bought Tesla from somebody, and part of buying it was he bought the name founder.
Right. So
Elon was not the founder of Tesla. He paid for that.
No, but he's evolved it to what it is today too.
True. I'm not saying that he did it, but
he was at one point this year was richer than Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. It's insane.
It is crazy.
But it's crazy. I think the guy. I can't wait for the truck to come out.
Are you still with the Cybertruck? Like, you got your deposit down on there?
It's only $100. It's no big deal. So on the talk of technology, I wanted to talk about differences then to now.
Okay.
So like, back in the day, how did we listen to music? Of course, we listened to it on the radio, CDs. I don't know if like burning CDs were a thing yet. If it was, it'd be very expensive.
I had what was it, like a 10-second, what would they call it? The 10-second lag memory or whatever.
Yeah.
It like memorized 10 seconds ahead in the CD. So if it skipped, then you wouldn't have any skip.
Yeah, I remember I had my first CD player was like something similar to that. And
anti-skip?
Yeah, 10-second anti-skip. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I think my first CD though, I had the Cranberries, and I think I had Jagged Little Pill. Alanis Morissette. I think those are my two like first.
That's
CDs.
Very you. Alanis Morissette is very
dude. I love Alanis Morissette.
So I want to talk about like our counterparts then to now.
Okay.
So for example, if I say movie theaters and Blockbuster, if we use those back in the day, what are we using now?
Well, I mean, I'm still using movie theaters, but I'm going to like
No, you're not.
Well, okay,
Netflix.
Not right now. I'm not.
Prime.
No.
HBO Max.
Not during the pandemic stuff. No. But Jesse and I, pre-pandemic, we were going to movies probably like 2 or 3 times a month.
How often? Oh, okay. That's really?
Yeah, seriously.
2 or 3 times a month.
Yeah, dude.
I was about to say, like, whenever we were younger, we went to the movie theater like,
every weekend.
Every weekend.
That was
and it might not be 2 or 3 times. I mean, it's pretty close to it because
I go 2 or 3 times a year.
I mean, there was nothing back then like eating popcorn and getting a nice soft HJ.
Like her and I
sneaking in a hot dog from QT or something like that.
Is that what it was? Is that what you called it? Sneaking in a hot dog? You real wily bastard.
We just call that good old fashioned sex.
Anybody want to play rootin' tootin' raspberries over here in the movie theater?
No, but we
I want to go home.
Our dates would be go into like the movie tavern, and go get dinner and a movie, and we did that at least once a month.
Did y'all get a hot dog or did never mind. All right. What's the next one?
Okay, so all right.
But Netflix is the counterpart to that, right?
Netflix and Hulu, now we're streaming stuff. Blockbuster
now that they're releasing movies like on HBO
Max, they're
every
starting
single month.
to every month.
Except this month, Tom and Jerry.
Fuck that.
I'm sorry, no thank you.
Get out of here.
At least we just got Judah and the Black Messiah.
Yeah. Oh, that was a good movie.
I'm gonna watch it on the flight to Egypt next week or tomorrow.
Yeah, he's leaving for Egypt tomorrow. Say hi, goodbye to Chad. He's gonna.
Yeah, when this drops, I will already be in Egypt.
Yeah.
So
sand surfing.
So catch me on Instagram at GoChadGo.
Or don't.
Yeah, just
either
don't.
way.
Okay, so our '90s counterpart to Napster was here in '99.
Yeah.
What was your first Napster song?
I don't know what my first Napster song is, but I remember downloading like Linkin Park and stuff like that off of Napster.
Yeah. What was yours?
I remember, I mean, probably similar. Like, I think that there was probably Limp Bizkit songs, Korn songs, that kind of thing. But there was also a lot of comedy skits. Like, I don't listen to comedy skits anymore. But you remember like Who Kicked My Dog, those kind of things.
Oh yeah.
They're all gonna laugh at you.
The Jerky Boys. And
we did a lot of those and waited all night, and hopefully it was done by the morning so we can like listen to a 2-minute clip of some stupid comedy thing.
It made you appreciate that a bit more, like burning those songs. Like my first 2 songs were U2's Beautiful Day and Metallica's No Leaf Clover.
Yeah.
Those are my first 2.
Symphony and Metallica.
So
I downloaded a movie today. I downloaded 2 movies for the flight tomorrow, and both of them took less than a minute.
Wow.
An entire movie.
How
like
long?
a whole movie.
How long would that have? You know how long it takes for a 5-second or 5-minute porno video
It
on
took
like
forever.
on LimeWire? It took like a day and a half for 5 minutes.
I remember back in the day, like searching on AOL, like back when dial up, and you'd like, I was like 10, 11 years old, whatever. And like searching for Sports Illustrated models. And like, it took forever. Like they're just like real pixelated at first. And then it starts from the top
and starts filling in. Yeah.
It just takes forever.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that wasn't even that good. And you like click on the next one, you're waiting.
Yeah. So the counterpart, our future counterpart to Napster and LimeWire.
Apple Music,
and Spotify. Yeah, so everything's streaming now.
iHeartRadio,
automatic.
We don't have to pay for albums anymore.
But they say that ruined the whole like the musicians. Like they rely so heavily now on their live shows and merch.
Well, because they still make a lot of money on their singles.
They do, but they're not making with the streaming service. They only make a small percentage.
And I think Taylor Swift had an issue with that, because they were getting paid like pennies per play, not even pennies, like a fraction of a penny. So, is it a hit or miss? Is it like, did it ruin the music industry?
More people are listening to music now than they were before, though.
Yeah, and you have everything on the palm of your hand.
Yeah, and to your point, like they're getting money off of shows, but shows used to be $20, and now they're like $100. So like, they're getting their money.
Yeah. Well, so Metallica got I guess kind of busted. Their shows would sell out. And it was because Metallica itself bought a whole bunch of their own concert tickets and then sold them secondhand on the.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so they'd sell them secondhand on the secondhand market for more money.
Yeah.
Why not?
I mean, the whole Napster effect. Yeah. I mean, we downloaded the music. I mean, I listened to "Dirt Off Your Shoulders" by Jay-Z like a million times, and almost hitting a church with Joe Paul and stuff like that. But
it's your fault though with downloading that one Metallica song that ruined Napster for everybody.
It probably was.
They were like. Javier Hernandez, he's the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, right, they were the main ones, right? That were against Napster.
It was
Metallica and
it was the drummer for Metallica. It wasn't necessarily Metallica, but
was that Lars?
Yeah, Lars Ulrich.
Yeah. So of course, I'm just going to run through these pretty quick because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. AOL Instant Messenger. What do we have now? We have iMessage. And we have
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Yeah.
Arcades and Putt Putt. We used to go, like you were saying, on Fridays. You'd go to the movie theater, or we'd go to Putt Putt.
Yeah.
Now it's really just online gaming and esports. Nobody goes to arcades anymore.
Yeah. Agreed.
Especially with the pandemic.
Fantasy
football is one thing for older people. VR, like I was talking about earlier.
I mean, but some people still like that nostalgic feel of, and it's not like going all the time like we used to.
Yeah.
And so you have some businesses that have kind of catered to that nostalgic, some bars and stuff like that. Barcadia in Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You get that old school arcade feel, and it's a good time. Like I have had some of the best times at Barcadia.
Or the Cidercade in Dallas.
Yeah, that place is cool.
Yeah, so it's not something that I'm gonna go do on a daily or a weekend. Every weekend I'm not going to be at the arcades playing.
True, but like you said, it's a nostalgic thing.
Yeah, so every once in a while, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's all fun and games. Cassettes, Discmans, and radio recording. So like getting a cassette tape and going through and recording songs.
Yeah, I remember like listening to 106.1 and waiting for that NSYNC song to come on or
Dirty Pop. No, that was
yeah.
Earlier. Yeah. That was later.
That was later.
That goes back to MP3s and online streaming services.
Dude, but even MP3s in general, like it's not really that's gone to the wayside too.
You know what pisses me off?
What?
I have a hard drive. I mean, I used to love, and I still like putting together a really good playlist. I think there goes a lot. There's a lot of work,
a mixtape, a mix CD,
a mix CD or playlist or whatever. And I used to download music or rip CDs or borrow CDs from people and rip them. So I'm, it's not legal anymore, but I had like 150,000 songs on a hard drive that I would just like download mixtapes and all this stuff off the internet all the time. And I would make some of the best playlists. And it's kind of sucks that I spent so much time and effort doing that when it's at the palm of your hand.
Now it's so easy.
All the time now. But yeah.
Anthony used to make really good playlists too. That's what I listened to. Yeah.
You remember like a girl, there'd be a girl that you liked. And you'd make like a mixed CD.
I'd never make a girl a CD because she'd be an ingrate and not, she'd like, oh, he made me a CD. He's creepy and he follows me home from school.
No. Yeah, that's probably why they said you were creepy.
It's the following. It wasn't a CD deal.
That makes way more sense.
I never had that issue. Like I remember making like you'd burn a CD and then like if the girl liked you, she'd burn a CD back for you kind of deal. And it was kind of like, oh, I got something nice. And then you put so much time and effort into the layout of the songs, right?
Yeah.
Because you wanted to convey the way you felt about this person. You're putting like the music that you really like, but you also wanted to say something. And I remember you just spending all that time and like meticulously putting it in order and like listening through it. I'm like, no, that's not good enough. I need to change this
there. There ain't nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
I don't think I ever put that on a CD for anybody. Yeah. That's a little
prude.
That was a little too much. I was listening to like
a little risque.
I was listening to like Snow Patrol and
Kill Me Now.
What was that song? Hey There, Delilah by
Plain White Tees.
Yeah, Plain White Tees.
Yeah.
I was listening to bands like that.
Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card.
Speaking of Yellow Card, I played pool with those guys.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You fucking liar.
I swear at the Ridgely Theater, R.I.P. But I played.
It's still there.
It is there, but it's not the same.
It's a church,
but I played pool there. I was playing pool. I was there to watch. I was with Zach King on that one.
R.I.P.
Yeah, and we were playing pool, and these two guys came up to play with us. We didn't know who they were, and we were there to see this band. We saw this other band, and Yellow Card was playing. We're like, I don't know who Yellow Card is, and we look, and it's like two of the guys that we just played pool with are playing in Yellow Card. And then they turn out to be what they were for kind like that short, for like short period of time, but still. So
speaking of burning stuff, how old were you when your family got their first computer?
Oh man, I can remember my first computer, and it was given to us by my uncle, and it had Windows 3.11. So it had to have been like 1992, maybe is when we got it. 91, Lord. Yeah.
I think my grandma got us one. It was like Windows 94 or Windows 95. One of the, I mean, it was not bad, but used it for like Reading Rabbit and Oregon Trail.
I love Reading Rabbit.
There was this, and honestly, I was thinking about this earlier. I need to find this game. There was a Ninja Turtle coloring book game, and it was all about traveling.
I think you've talked about that before.
Yeah. And I need to go and find those pictures because I think there was one with the pyramids in Cairo too. So I got to find it. And, but yeah, some of the best games were on those old computers. But yeah, I think it was around 94, 95.
I mean, the second computer is when we got Windows 94, Windows 95, and it was a Compaq. If you remember Compaq brand. Yeah.
My first one was like 99. We got it at Best Buy over here at the old Ridgemore. And I remember the
old 234.
Old 234, but this is how old it was. It had a sticker on there that said Y2K ready.
Oh yeah,
It had to be ready and like programmed so that way.
Dude, that's something that like if you told kids today or like teenagers today that we were worried about Y2K wiping out like computer systems and
launching the nukes.
Yeah, and then people are like, it's going to open prison doors because the computers that control the doors are going to all fail, and it's just going to be like mass pandemonium. And I remember going to bed like freaking out, like Y2K is going to happen. You go to bed that night thinking the next morning school's not going to be going on or whatever it was. Like something's not going to happen, and the world's coming to an end. And I wake up and it's just a normal day.
Yeah.
So Gigapets and Tamagotchis. Chad talked about how he mowed lawns and bought a Tamagotchi, or what was it?
Yeah, mowed lawns and sold bracelets. Yeah, and like pieces of art.
Chad was he was an entrepreneur over here. Yeah. Like very what's the word I'm looking for? Resourceful.
There you go.
Very resourceful.
I had to get it. I was poor and I got it.
Good on you, Chief. So our future counterpart to Gigapets and Tamagotchis.
Shit.
I don't know, man. There's a little robot. I can't remember. I don't know what it's called, but I've seen them where it's kind of like a artificial intelligent little robot toy that sits on your desk.
Like the one that looks like Wall-E, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. It charges itself. Like it interacts with you. It even has like Alexa built into it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But like you can play with it and like it has this little block.
I feel like that's probably the closest thing. Maybe.
I don't think that there's anything comparable.
No, I mean you can kind of think of Pokemon Go, but you can't really feed your Pokemon. Right. Like the whole point of the Gigapet and the Tamagotchi was you had to
take care of it.
Like you had to clean its shit up. You had to feed it.
I got tired of messing with it, and it drove my mom crazy.
Oh yeah, I remember.
So she took it and she kept that thing alive, and I'm like, thinking back on it now, I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Just let it die.
That's very adorable. Right? That's very adorable. That your
mom took my Tamagotchi. She still has that Tamagotchi. It's in she's got like this little lawyer's bookcase, and it's got a bunch of like old keepsakes.
I wonder how much it's worth. I mean, have you ever checked to see what it's going for?
I've never looked. What color was yours?
I think it was purple.
I had a Gigapet, and it was a Jurassic Park Gigapet.
So
mine was a dinosaur.
I had a Tamagotchi. It was green, like in yellow, like I think stripes on it.
So on top of games, of course, we had NES, Super NES, the Nintendo, Sega, and Game Gear.
Right.
Our counterpart now is PlayStation, Xbox, VR, computer gameplay.
I mean, I would say if you're looking at like the Game Boy Color, Game Gear, and things like that, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, it's portable. And the biggest issue with Game Boys playing in the car at night. You'd rely on like the street lights going by to play,
or you had to have that. You had to have that special attachment that went on there
with the light, right? Yeah, I was too poor for that. Like Gil had he had the Game Boy, and every time
you put it on the top, and it's got like the little
and it lit up on there.
It was like
it took 4 AA's,
like a magnifying glass with a light behind it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it took its own batteries.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
was a pain.
I got a Game Boy for Christmas one year, like the original gray Game Boy, right?
The old brick.
And I remember that my mom got me a subscription to a magazine, and it had a giveaway for a Game Boy, and I won a Game Boy.
Wow!
And I ended up giving it. I gave it to John Moon.
God, John Moon!
I don't understand why I did that.
You gave it to the worst person.
I don't know.
He
wasn't the worst person.
I hadn't seen that guy.
I remember there was a way that you can connect Game Boys. I don't remember how.
It was through
a
data link.
It was a data link cable.
And you would play like what is it?
You can trade
Dr.
Pokemon.
Mario. You could trade Pokemon. That's right. But
that's the only way you can get 150.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you can play Dr. Mario, which is like the original Tetris, I think.
No, Tetris is
the original Tetris. Dr. Mario was the Mario version. Yeah. Positive.
It's like
Yeah, I think you're right.
Tetris. Yeah, Tetris was Tetris.
I suppose you might be right.
Okay, so last but not least, maps, music, audio, phone calls.
Bro, I used to like print out just to go from point A to point B, MapQuest or Mapsco or whatever. Just print them all out and like highlight it because you did which ones were important.
Like you'd skip the first 5 because it was just getting out onto the freeway.
So I remember going. I was still working. I was working at Best Buy. This is probably like 2005,
4, 3.
I was there from 2003 to 2006. So it had to been like 2003, 2004.
TomTom? Did you get a TomTom?
No.
Garmin?
So they had this thing for your laptop.
I remember.
It was a piece of software, and it came with a GPS dongle. So I bought that, and I bought an inverter because I was driving to Nacogdoches to see one of my friends that was going to SFA, and so I bought that. And I hooked that all up, and I had it sitting in my my seat for my Jeep that I had. I had it sitting in that passenger seat and give me directions. That was my first GPS experience.
Do y'all remember the first time you ever used a phone GPS?
I think it was 07, and I had the TMTHC Wing. HTC Wing.
HTC Wing.
And it was Windows compatible, and I had it like jailbroken. And I was able to put like live Sirius radio. I had Google Maps on there.
Yeah, I don't remember the first time I used a phone GPS.
It was 07. Yeah, it was 07.
Mine was 08 because it was the original iPhone. I bought it secondhand from somebody. And so I had it the second year it was, a thing.
Yeah.
And I remember it wasn't even like real GPS. It was triangulation.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so it wasn't even like real GPS. And I remember us going down to San Antonio. I think that was the year that we went to Fiesta. I think it was the last time we all went to Fiesta together was around that time.
Yeah.
And I was riding with Hervey and Christy. And I remember like looking at it and just being in awe. Like obviously Hervey knew to take 35, but I'm like on the maps.
It's following us.
Yeah. I was like, it knows. And it would kind of jump a little bit because of the triangulation, but like I couldn't believe that I didn't have to have maps printed.
So I remember one of my friends, they were trying to find Dave and Buster's, and they were in a different
Was it with
state.
you and Dave and Buster's?
No, I know. I just like the place. But they put it in
They
put it in their GPS.
Yeah.
And it took them to somebody's house by the name of David Buster. So
David Buster. So I want to go back to the live chat. How old are you guys when you came into your own musical appreciation? Like not your parents' music, but your own, which makes a lot of sense because I used to listen to a lot of Bee Gees.
Yeah.
A lot of 70s music.
I was influenced early on by my brother and sister. So I've got an older brother and older sister, and they both listen. So my sister's like roughly I think 12 years older than me. My brother's about almost like 10 and a half. So early on, influenced by them. My mom listened to 96.3 KSCS growing up and 98.7 K-Love. So I got a little bit of the oldies and a little bit of country listening to that, but I quickly developed this taste based off of my brother and sister listening to rock.
Yeah.
Rock and metal. My brother was a metalhead, had long hair, ear pierced. My sister wrote for a a music publication that was local here in town, and so it just kind of stuck with me, and that's where I was probably like maybe 10, maybe 9, 10 years old.
I think that I never really got into my parents' music. In fact, like I hated going for a long drive, and we'd be listening to Mix 102.9 back in the day.
Oh yeah,
it was always like mix of 80s, 90s, and now or whatever, right? But like
back then it had been like 70s, 80s, and 90s.
Well, yeah,
70s, probably. 80s, and now
whatever. Yeah, but it was very heavy 80s, very very heavy 80s. And I remember just being like, oh, this is the worst. And now I know every song to like just about any 80s music, and I appreciate it now. I think it was like,
but that was like
inverse.
That was like that 80s.
And I hated it.
80s pop, 80s like maybe like smooth rock, like light rock.
Avenue.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Dude, then I hated it.
That song fucks, man. That's a good song.
My parents would be singing. I'm like, oh my God.
I fucks with
awful.
that.
But now.
No, you appreciate it.
Right.
You grab that, like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but so I was listening to bands like Slaughter and Fire. Dude, okay, but you laugh at that name, but it was the quintessential like 80s hair like metal ballads, that kind of stuff from like the 80s. It wasn't like Slaughter, like you think that you hear that name, you think like heavy metal. No, They were exact opposite of that. But like Firehouse, but then I was also listening to Iron Maiden, Metallica, Pantera, things of that nature too. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
My brother, whenever he left for the Marines, he left a whole bunch of his cassette tapes, and so I had this like box. I mean, it was one of those like fancy things that you pull the deals out, and it has like the rows of tapes in there. So I pulled that, had that, and so I had all these awesome bands that I got to listen to because they were in my bedroom. There's something that it really just kind of resonated with me. I love it.
Cool. All right, so back to my original topic.
Yeah.
All of those things that I just said. What's our new counterpart? What's our future counterpart?
Phones.
The almighty phone.
Yeah, the phone is everything.
More technology on this little device than the entire Apollo space.
Oh yeah, which I think that's kind of like, I think cell phones are a blessing and a curse.
Well, it's like somebody had asked the question, do you remember what life was like before you had Google Maps? And of course, we just brought up like MapsCo, MapQuest. You'd print it out. Mm-hmm. People used to use maps. Like I never used a whole map before, like traveling.
My first EMS job, we didn't have any routing equipment or anything like that. We get the call and we would be in the station. We'd walk by. There's a big map printed on the wall. And so we'd look at the map on the wall and try to memorize how we'd go there. And then we had like an extra map inside the truck. But that's how we figured out where we were going on these calls. It was absolutely ridiculous.
So shout out to Jay, who still has his original AOL email.
My dad still does too.
Hey, what was your screen name? What was your AOL Instant Messenger screen name?
It was originally Chat SPK, which I still generally use.
Yep.
But then it changed to Leading Blindly when we had the band in high school.
Tim FX555.
I recall.
X99 Gorillas 99X.
Dude, I don't know why why mine was
the band.
Gorillas. Yeah.
I don't know why mine was Tim FX555.
Because you thought it was cool. You thought just the FX was
I thought yours was NoFX something or another.
It was Tim FX555. And it might have been because of NoFX. I don't know.
Probably.
The 555 was probably because it's right next to 666. And I thought that was kind of edgy.
No, shut up.
Every time, like,
I'm just saying that's probably why.
Speaking on Jay's comment, like my dad and Gil, they're both Gil. The two Gils still have their AOL
Gil Jr., Gil Sr.
AOL accounts. Like,
That's wild.
Whenever they say, what's your email address? And my dad's like, qbdrtx@aol.com. Hey, like, what the hell? Do you still pay for that? Because remember, you used to have to pay for
those discs for.
Well, it depends on how many discs you can get.
True.
You just go to the screen name.
Just go to the Sam Goody and get a couple free discs.
Oh man, Sam Goody. That's something that people will never experience ever again.
No. So talking about like futuristic things, right? Like let's think into the future because we talked about.
Do you think 15 years
now?
Say 15 years in the future?
Yeah, let's say 15 years. From now.
Okay, 15 years from now.
I think back to the commercial on the Super Bowl, the Alexa commercial, where who is it?
Michael B. Jordan
is a robot, basically. Like, and it's funny, but like, how far do you think we are from like an actual some type of robot following us around?
Like a Michael B. Jordan?
No, not a Michael B. Jordan.
Like,
but
I mean, he's a real handsome man, that Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, but I don't think we're that close to getting a Michael B. Jordan robot. I mean, they've got those sex dolls now.
Hold on, who said anything about sex?
Well, I'm just saying they got those sex dolls that are supposedly
What's
like.
wrong with you?
When Tim thinks Michael B. Jordan, he thinks
he screams sex. Right?
He thinks Michael BJ since his last two initials.
So I also think about like that movie Her, with Joaquin Phoenix. And
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she's the voice.
She's
right?
the voice,
right? Yeah.
Oh, but that voice though, you can't just.
Yeah, you know right away.
It's such a bizarre movie, but it's not really a bizarre concept because I mean, there's this whole thing of like what people being in love with Alexa.
Yeah. If you don't get a whole lot of attention and there's something that's giving you more attention than anyone else, you're gonna have some kind of feeling for it.
I mean, if it's there for your downtime, it's like, oh, I'm so mopey. And she's like, oh, it'll be okay. What can I do to make you feel better? Like, stuff like, hey, Google. I cannot have an answer for that.
It kind of terrifies you, though, like if it starts really learning.
Isn't it, though? Like everything you capture, like you don't read your terms of your terms of service. Like it's gathering your info.
No, but
everything. Like if you say, "Hey, where can I bury a body?" and it used to like give you jokingly send you to the dump.
Yeah.
If you ask for a hooker, it'd take you to an escort service.
Right.
Like it's
no, but I'm just saying like AI, the whole artificial intelligence stuff, actually learning and predicting what you're going to want and predicting what you're going to do. It's just kind of freaky because you start thinking about all the sci-fi movies from the past where once, artificial intelligence starts, they got a whole movie, right? AI. And it starts like
very
learning,
sad movie, by the way.
And then they start attacking you and then things start happening and they try to take over the world. And, that's something that's been played on, from early on,
Well, it's like they had a specific scene in the movie AI, which if you haven't seen AI, it's 20 years old. Steven Spielberg movie.
That's on you.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that's on you.
It's a 20-year-old. Yeah. Well, but there's a scene where they're really racist against like artificial like robots. They look like robots, and Haley Joel Osment's character looks like a real boy, and so he's in this slaughterhouse for robots that they have a show for. And they're like, there's a boy there. Like he looks, what do you have a real boy doing over there? You're going to slaughter a real boy. And of course, there's a huge uproar because they're like, they start arguing. But yeah, how far are we from that point where instead of looking like robots, they're going to look like actual humans?
But that's what I was, and no shit. That's why I was saying like they have those sex dolls now. And this is
it's sex doll.
Hear me out. Hear me out for a second. They've got.
I want to play with the sex box.
They've got these things that are so realistic that people are afraid.
You mean like that big butt from Dave, where he has that sex thing that he fucks? You don't remember?
No, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never mind.
But they've got these things that are
I would like to go home now.
They got these things that are so realistic that help. They provide companionship. They can talk to you and all that. So they have kind of like an Alexa type feature built into them. And it's that technology's here now, and you can have that intimacy, and it's just so weird to think about that, and that eventually it's going to be something that's going to walk around like you're talking about the Michael B. Jordan, and it's going to talk to you, it's going to interact with you, and then what?
I mean,
like it's really bizarre.
Do you think you'd be able to customize your own like?
I think you could. That's what I'm saying. Like I think you could.
That's gotta be very creepy though. I mean, like
you develop this thing to fit everything that you desire, right?
Yeah.
And it essentially, like, why do you need a female or a male counterpart?
Like you have a picture of someone. I want her.
You've literally got exactly what you want.
Seriously though, how long do you think we are from that?
Not long.
10 years. I think 10 years.
Or less. 5 years.
I think 10.
I'm going for 5 on something like that.
What about like flying cars? How far do you think we are?
Man.
It's going to have to be maglev, and I don't think it's going to be flying. There's no way to have a flying car.
Are you kidding me? I think it was Uber was already testing like drone.
They're testing drones and stuff, but
That's basically a flying car.
I get that, but it's going to be automated.
No. A flying car is going to be like, you've seen The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
The bat, like how it has like the turbines on each end.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like that.
It's going to be fully.
It'll be like that.
Autonomous. It's going to be. Yeah. It's you're not going to be able to control it.
Okay. Let me step back. A car that is not on the ground, or a readily, like an easily available vehicle on a regular basis that has not touched the ground.
To the masses?
Yes.
20 years.
25.
See, I
maglev, because the Japanese train is maglev. So it's like hovering on the track.
Yeah, we can already do that.
We're already there.
That's now.
Okay,
I'm saying
so
again.
You're thinking sooner.
Yeah, I think like a.
Are you talking like consumer? Like I can go out and buy for the price of a car.
Probably not purchase.
It'll be 50 years.
Maybe like a rental type thing to like
a rent to own. Like a
no,
house?
like an Uber.
Like an Uber.
I think he means.
Oh yeah, well like Uber stuff. No, I think that's going to be relatively soon, like sooner than later. But I think on a consumer level where people are buying these things.
It'll be 50 years.
Yeah, I'm thinking 30. I'm thinking 30 years.
I'll say 20. I'll say 20, but I think less than 10 before we can get into like a person.
Like how is it going to be like Futurama where they're going to have like lanes of traffic that's designated and it's going to GPS and follow that to a T? I mean, how's that going to work?
There's got to be some kind of order.
If we're being like technical on this, then you're going to have to figure out the formula for gravity. If that's the case.
Oh man, that's easy, man. I already got that.
What are you talking about?
Like how a space station would work.
Well, space station.
You've seen Interstellar, right?
Well, you're getting crazy now.
Yeah, but we're not talking about in space. We're talking about like drones.
Here. No, I'm talking about
like a person drone.
Oh, well.
It'd be like a
man drone?
Like something that you would ride around in. Yeah.
Oh, 20 years.
20 years. Like 20 years. A consumer that you could go out and like get.
Yeah.
Okay, 20 years. Yeah. Okay. I'm saying like 20 or 30 years or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. That was way too much conversation for a seemingly simple question.
Will there ever be a shot of getting like a teleportation machine?
Yeah, man. Because really, if you want to start getting into technical terms of like the theory of relativity, seriously, like I think that warp speed and stuff like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
And if we can figure out how to,
God damn,
crack a cold one.
Yeah, if Tim's talking about this shit.
No. If you could figure out how to like fold the paper. Like imagine everything's flat and you fold the paper.
Don't try to explain to us something that you don't understand.
It's flat and you fold the paper.
Okay.
And it shortens your distance. That's what it is. That's all it is. You got to shorten the distance.
I'm confused as to what they don't already have is our phones are generally more powerful than a lot of computers, right? Like the PC that you spent $500 on, your phone's more powerful.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
I don't think it could run like full on virtual reality like he's got.
Why not?
I don't think it can.
I think
it doesn't have enough processing power.
Yeah, I don't think the processing power is there.
I disagree. But
the GPU, the GPU's not there.
That was my point. It's like, why aren't we doing like a virtual reality from our phones yet? Because our phones are super.
Well, I mean, they have those like
powerful.
VR headset things that you fold out of cardboard.
Yeah, but you just put your phone in. I'm saying like similar to what Javier has.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man.
I guess that was a little off topic. I was just
I think it. But you see, you got paper and you fold it in half, and
shut the hell up.
You get closer that way. I don't know.
What else do we have about the future?
I mean, what space colonies?
Let me ask you this: if someone from the 50s traveled to right now, like what would you tell them about the future in one sentence?
Don't be a racist.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Hey, I think that's the end all be all. Don't be a fucking racist.
They show up and they're like, "What can you tell us about the future?" And we're like,
"White people are assholes."
Yeah, I was like, "Dude,
no offense, Chad and Tim.
Black people are pretty cool. Mexicans are pretty cool. Asians are pretty cool. All the races are pretty cool. So you probably should be cool about it and not like be a dick."
Yeah,
people like you are starting to die out, and it's a little bit later than it needs to be,
women can vote. Women can vote here.
It would be smart if you went ahead and changed your perception right now. No, like what would you tell them? Like if you had to tell them one thing about the future, not racism, but like technology wise, what was in one sentence, one thing you would say?
It cannot be invest in Google. It cannot be like
not investing things, but like are you talking like what would you?
So I read this article
to prepare them for the future.
Okay, give me an example because I thought it was pretty funny, but I want to get y'all's take on your own.
Do I need to play down? That's Texas?
Also, what do you guys think? Like, the people on the live stream, what do you think? What's a one sentence that you'd give to somebody from the 50s if you were to go back in time?
Yeah, after we do all ours, we'll recap with y'all's too. So make sure you put that in there. No, I was reading a book, or I saw it on Reddit, something like that. But they had asked, what would you tell somebody that came, or if you, what was it? You went to the past, or they came to the future?
So if someone in the 50s traveled in time to right now, in one sentence, what would you tell them about the future?
Before they go back, they said, we have the technology to know absolutely everything, talk to anybody, see across the world, right? See into space. We could do anything in a moment. But instead, we complain and we talk shit about each other on the internet.
And we take pictures of we want people to see our food.
Right. And we take pictures of that's what we use our technology for.
If I wanted somebody to see my dick right now,
oh my God,
I could take a picture of it and send it to them.
You're really showing your Javier right now.
Hey man, I'm being very tone right now.
All right. Yeah. That's not something I would say, but that's something
that's the kind of kind of mentality. Like, we have got the technology to blow your mind, but we take pictures of our food. You know what I mean? Like, we post them.
But think about that. Like, probably blows their mind. Like, what pictures of your food?
Yeah, we have the ability to get any bit of knowledge in a split second, but instead we criticize people and their dog pics.
Yeah, basically.
People make accounts for their pets.
Right.
Yeah. Well, what's an account?
What do you have one?
Man, I don't know. That's a tough one, because I'd probably tell them, like, look, you can fly anywhere, like literally anywhere for fairly cheap.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, like, if I want to fly, you don't have to take a boat like across the world or whatever. We can fly, transcontinental and all that stuff, and you can access different parts of the world, relatively quickly,
right?
Within hours instead of days. So, I mean, they had air travel in the 50s, but not like we got now. I'd probably tell them something about that, like that. Yeah.
I would say, like, a couple things. One would be, like, we've got televisions that weigh less than 10 pounds and are like the size of your car.
Hey, we have televisions in every room,
and they're this deep.
I literally have a television in every room.
I've got one in the garage,
and I can cook food in a machine that really, really fast.
Microwaves were there back then.
But it fits like on my counter, like it's this big.
I don't think they were that much.
They were big.
Though.
They were big.
We can hail a cab from anywhere we are at any moment.
And we call them Uber.
Yeah. There are millions of pornographic videos at the touch of a button.
Yeah.
Okay. We've got one from NTX Beer. If they're adult, consensual sex work or legal in all 50 states, do you think it would reduce the attraction to AI sensuality?
Man, that's a tough one, because I still think, even though you can have that, you're not going to get quite the intimacy probably from a sex worker that you could probably get that, or programmed into like that AI like bot.
Come here, daddy. Come here.
I think there's some things that people just want to not let anyone know about. Is that kind of what you're saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, if I can get like the actual intimacy, like I can have a doll that will actually come and like hold me or like hug me and stuff like that. Yeah. Without much effort. No, but I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I don't know. I don't think that would replace it, but I do think that that's the right track that we should be going. Is what North Texas Beer.
I mean, it's kind of like the whole kids shouldn't watch porn because it'll give them a specific thought of how sex is.
Okay, yeah.
It'll desensitize them, and they'll expect something to be like.
But
that.
I think, like, I think if you got these, you get there's obviously people out there that are very lonely and very awkward, and they will have a hard time maybe having a successful relationship.
Literally hard.
But this will give them an ability to have a successful relationship with something that they can interact with, and I think that. Yes, I don't think that sex workers and all that stuff. I don't think that would help that. I don't think that would change that. I think, honestly, I think that would be a thing that I think that's happening. I think that's gonna happen.
Nothing like fucking a robot, huh?
You just got to make sure you unplug it.
Hey, ScarJo, come over here and sit on Daddy's lap.
I think it's funny that a lot of the conversation has led to like sexual type things on thinking about the future, but it's also kind of weird thinking about how most of technology has changed because of like things like pornography and things like that. Like, Blu-rays being the number one thing. Wasn't that because of like porn? Like they chose basically like the porn industry.
Oh
chose
yeah,
that,
whatever
Blu-ray
porn company picked
was the next thing, right?
Instead of the HD DVD.
Yeah.
It's crazy how many people in those industries, or that's the focus that drives a lot of technology.
Hey, did you have a Betamax player when you were growing up?
Nope, VCR.
Yeah, VCR here too.
Stolen twice. My dad
twice.
My dad even got screwed over. Somebody stole him a box of bricks.
A box of bricks.
Yeah,
good
it's
lord,
pretty funny.
All right, if we kind of wrapped up, there's this thing that I've seen online, and I kind of want to share it maybe as like our final.
Well, before we do that, let me just ask: have y'all seen Space Hay yet?
No.
I don't know what that is.
Do you miss MySpace?
No.
Okay.
I miss.
You don't miss I miss MySpace. I miss the ability,
little bit.
I miss the ability to code my web page and have all that stuff and have music playing and stuff like that.
So you like judging your friends, like who's done your top 8,
You
right?
make my top 8.
Not me tonight.
I don't know.
That's cool. You were on my top 8 at one point. Not anymore. So just, as a final thing before we get into the actual final thoughts, if you want the MySpace experience, you can go to spacehey.com and it's literally MySpace. It's set up just like MySpace was. Instead of saying MySpace, it says Space Hey, and you can make and create an account. I think we should do that for the Funky Panther.
That'd be fun.
I think we should break out our old coding skills for HTML.
I forgot.
Oh, me too. And we should make a page for it.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I still have my old MySpace account.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Like all my pictures are still on.
But anyways, final thoughts.
Yeah, so there was this Zambian Twitter user that, and it says recently, but this was some time ago, I think, that was talking about the difference or how people born between 1985 and 1995 are the most unique generation of all time. Have y'all seen that? Have you seen that post?
I would agree with this because I think I've seen this post before.
Okay, so people born between 1985 and 1995 are the most unique generation of all time, and here's why. They are in between two generations, the one before the internet and technology took over and the one after.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? Because those before us didn't have the internet. That started when we were children, right?
Right, babies.
Right. And then others that had it their entire lives.
Right.
Right.
And had tablets and things like that.
Right. The generation before us was old school and believed in working hard. The generation after us believes in working smart. You agree with that?
Yeah,
work smarter, not
and I think my generation believes in working lazy.
Well, what?
Me.
Oh,
mostly me.
So not your generation, just
me.
Oh, you have a wound? Super glue it. It'll work.
Yeah, it's fine.
So our generation has seen it all. We've seen radio, TV, Mario, WAP Trick, Nokia, Nintendo 64, Samsung, iPhone, PS4, tape, CD, DVD, MiG-32, Netflix, Snapchat, emojis, and virtual reality. So a little bit of everything. All the things that we've kind of talked about today between the 90s and now, right?
Yeah, definitely.
We have seen all of these different changes. The generation before us can be scammed with simple emails asking for money and offering a little bit of love. The generation after us knows it's better to have 4 emails, one for serious stuff, one for social media, financial transactions, and then also experiments for things you don't trust.
How many?
That's true.
That's a good question. You know what? How many email accounts do you have?
I have one that I've got one in my work email. I've got 2 emails.
I got 5.
Oh.
I've got 3. I used the Funky Panther at gmail.com as the
experimental.
I do. So if we get
sign me up for that free trial, baby.
If we get random stuff, it's because I probably signed us up for something stupid. All right.
Man.
We're the generation that knows tradition and question it, picking from it and what makes sense to us. The generation before us did not question it. They just took it as face value, right? And the generation after us knows no tradition at all. They just do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we are the gap between the industrial age and the internet age. We understand both sides from experience. We should be running the world. The old guys don't understand what's going on anymore. The new guys don't fully understand where we came from.
That's a really good point. That's a really good.
Yeah. So I have read that article and I 100% agree with that. it's actually very weird because I remember the time of because we were right on the cusp of like payphones still being a thing.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have money, you called 1-800-COLLECT, and then whenever it said, "Please say your name," you're like, "Mom, come pick me up," and hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That way you didn't
Bob,
get charged.
we had
right?
a baby eats boy.
So I do remember that, and then slowly, like, my dad had a cell phone, and he gave it to me when we'd go on like for band or football or whatever in middle school. I'd call him whenever we were home, and eventually that led to me having that cell phone and so forth. But yeah, it's very weird, that progression.
We were like in that transition.
Yeah, from
and
beepers.
I don't know if there was
or
quite the transition between say 90s to 2000s. I mean, at that would go from like bar phone to smartphone. I mean, that's a pretty big transition,
right?
But we still live that too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, like I think that the biggest transitions that we've seen,
we went from having TVs that weighed 500 pounds.
Bro, I remember carrying a 32-inch TV that was about 80 pounds up 3 flights of stairs to my very first apartment. And now I could carry a 32-inch TV like with one hand.
And then going to having, pagers.
Yeah.
And having to call out either on a payphone or borrowing somebody's parent's cell phone that they had or whatever, to having a phone in my pocket at all times. Yeah, it's quite incredible where we have come.
But I think it's good to know that the future is now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's here to stay, baby. More porn for everyone.
Hey, thank you for watching us on YouTube and Twitch. Generally, we are going to be on every Tuesday night around this time. Next week, however, we will not be here. I will be in a different country, but we'll be back on the 16th, I believe it is.
Good luck in Egypt, buddy.
Appreciate you. If you don't already subscribe to us on YouTube, please do so. Leave us a like and a subscribe here somewhere. If you're watching us on Twitch, please follow us. And if you don't already do so, we are on all the social media platforms at The Funky Panther. You can also check us out and see all of these links at thefunkypanther.com. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for listening to us. Stay good, everyone. I'm Chad.
I'm Javier.
And I'm Tim.
And we are
The Funky Panther! What about the past, though?